Right, good evening. We're going to talk about reflections tonight, and like translation, reflection has its certain way that you write it. In translation, you use a capital T, and then it tells you what you're translating and what you're translating about. But with a reflection, it's a capital Y, and then it tells you what you want to reflect it around. So what we're doing on this problem is we're reflecting across Y equals 1, and we're reflecting point P. So if you look on our graph, here's point P. It does have the coordinates of 3, 4. Just so you have a general idea what you want to graph on your graph paper. And since we want to reflect across Y equals 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my Y-axis. And then since it is a Y, that means it's going to be a horizontal line. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line through the Y-axis, or through Y equals 1. Okay. And what a reflection does, it just simply flips it across that line, and it keeps the distance the same. So since P is 1, 2, 3 units above the line, then the reflection of it would be 3 units below the line. So 1, 2, 3. So our image would be at 3, negative 2. Okay? So that one's pretty simple. If we move on to another one, we're going to move on to a figure. And what we want to do on here is we want to reflect across the Y-axis triangle, oops, sorry about that, A, B, C. Okay, so the Y-axis goes up and down. Remember, Y is high. So here's our Y-axis for you to see it. And we're still doing the same thing like we did with point P on our first example, but we're going to do it with 3 different points. So if you look for A, you see how many units A is away from your line of reflection. So it's 1, 2, 3. So on the opposite side, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And that becomes A prime. Okay. Since B is already on the Y-axis, there's no change in distance, so I don't have to do anything with B, so that still is B prime. And then you do the same thing for C. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4. You go on the opposite side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that becomes C prime. And then you connect your dots, and then that is your image. Okay, now I want you to try this one. I want you to reflect Y equals negative 3, the point F, and point F is at point 2, 6. And I will be checking this first thing tomorrow after the bell ringer. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Make sure you take good notes. Make sure you have graph paper. If not, draw the graph, or you can borrow some from me tomorrow. And then I will see you tomorrow.